All right. Now we'll fix our bracciolini, okay? Now, we've got our little pork cutlets over here. Now, some of you might want to make braccioli out of something like a big flank steak. That's traditionally what they use is beef. I sort of like pork because I feel like it has more flavor to it. Now, what he's done here, though, is he found very lean pieces of pork. I told him, I said, I don't really think I need it quite so lean. I'm really happier with a little more fat. So he's trying to make it so I get a little more fat next time. So don't worry if you see more fat than that. All right? But that's what you want. We're going to make 4 of them. And what we do here, we're going to add a little bit of prosciutto. Now, if you didn't have prosciutto, though, I have to say, I've added mortadella in the past. I've had anything. You don't even have to add it. Prosciutto's a little expensive, and sometimes you don't have it. I could even add pancetta, you know, the little Italian-style bacon without the smoke. How many of you like pancetta? Yeah, it's really good. And it doesn't have to be even sliced. You can just put it in there if it's crumbled or something like that.
We have those little dices right now. We got some diced pancetta in.
Right, you can use diced pancetta. You can use whatever kind you like. But you lay out your little, in this case, since our recipe called for prosciutto, this was one of my mother's recipes. So that's why personally, I'm the kind that changes things around a lot. My mom used to stick more to tradition, and I'm sort of like, well, that's nice, but I don't know if I want all that. I think I'll put, so that's why you sort of change it. And that's why recipes keep evolving. But don't ever feel you're that wrong. I'm going to give you an idea here. You take it where you want it to go. If you want to use something else, if you want to use plain old bacon, you can. Give it a smoky taste. That's up to you, okay? And that's what makes cooking exciting all the time.
Now wait a minute, if you use plain bacon, would you use it like raw then?
Yeah.
Or you'd cook it
You
first?
never buy raw bacon. Bacon is cured, and you can eat it when it's cured just like that. You don't have to. You
don't have to cook it?
You don't have to cook it. You don't have to eat it. You can eat it like that. The curing process is what cooks it. It's like salmon when they fix it in the salt or whatever they take the more. You can eat it just like that. You don't have to cook it again, you know. But if you like that flavor. But if you don't like the flavor, is that far out enough so you guys can see? Okay.
Is it light enough for you to see good? Okay, great.
I can move that back a little bit too, but we're going to have to heat that up.
Okay.
That's why I didn't do it. Okay, so we're laying that out. We want to put a little bit of Romano cheese on there, you know, for a little flavor. Now some people the girls in the kitchen say, well, they put breadcrumbs, you know. Put breadcrumbs if that's what you like. This was, you know, like I say, this is my mom's recipe, but there is absolutely no wrong thing to do unless it's something you don't like in there. And if there's something on here that you don't like, then certainly change it around a little, you know. We're going to put a little bit of garlic in here. A little fresh garlic. I think that calls for that, right?
Yeah.
You know, Rick made these. I cooked them, but I didn't make the other ones. Rick made the other ones for me because we sell them in the frozen food section already made, fresh frozen. They freeze them the same day they make them. So if you say, well, that's nice, I like the bracciolini, but you know what? I don't know if I want to go home and do all that. You can just buy them already made from us in the frozen food section.
They come with prosciutto in it and everything?
They come with, just like
this?
I believe just like I'm doing here, okay, with a little bit of garlic. Then we're going to put some parsley. If you have Italian flat leaf parsley, that has a little more flavor than the curly parsley. But if you didn't find it, and all you have is that, you put what you feel like in there, okay? If you want basil in there, and you want to spread basil leaves on the top, that's always nice to do too. And then I believe you put a little bit of pepper. Is there anything else on that recipe? Onions? Okay, I got some onions over here, it so happens. No, wait, the onions I believe are in the sauce.
No onions.
Yeah, no onions on the inside. They'd be harder to roll, they'd just fall out.
Oh, this side is the sauce?
Well, I don't know exactly how the recipe is. You've got cutlets, garlic, string tomatoes. See, the string tomatoes and the other tomatoes are going in the sauce. Onion goes in the sauce, and Romano, okay? Basically, you've got the Romano is from sheep's milk, okay? So when you think of a sheep, you think of something a little stronger by what they eat. They're eating things on like the side of the mountains more and things like that. So it's going to be a little saltier, a little tangier. See, I'm just rolling these up like a little jelly roll. So that sort of adds that flavor to the Romano, where the Parmigiano, which is cow's milk, they're basically grazing on wonderful grass and things like that there. And so it's a little mellower and a little milder in flavor. Now, if you're from the north where they have a lot of cows and stuff, you're going to be more used to Parmigiano or Parmesan because that's where you come from. And they, especially in days gone past, a long time ago, I needed the string. I had stringer. Here we go. A long time ago, you know, you didn't get that far. They didn't shop on it. They didn't have the ease of getting things like we do today. So they sort of used whatever they had. Now this one, these guys that wrap ours, they wrap them like they're still alive and they're gonna come apart. I don't like to put that much in there, so I just tie them in a couple of spots. Or if I'm not doing too many at home, I'll even use just a toothpick so I don't have as much to take out. Okay? But myself, you really only need two little things to hold it in there. Two little spots. But you'll find if you buy ours, they wrap them up, you know, like I can't believe. There it is. All you really need to do, see, just sort of cinch it up like that.
It's like a little sleeping bag.
Yep, that's all you gotta do, little sleeping bags. And
They do kind of
that's the
look like
difference between them. And down south, where they're a little poor generally, they don't have the same amount of money that they have up north and stuff, so they're more used to Romano, you know, and so that's what we're from the south. So I got used to Romano with that tangy, salty flavor, and so that's what we're more used to. And it's, believe it or not, it's also a lot cheaper. So regardless or not, I'd probably be the skinchy side, and I'd go for the Romano.
So the ones that are in the freezer, are they pork or are they beef?
They are pork.
They're pork?
Pork. We don't really process any beef here at the store. Because of the USDA inspection, it's very difficult to mix beef and pork in the same facility. You know, unless you're doing it on a big time basis, which we don't do. We do things on a little time basis, you know, just what we need, just in time, making fresh. We try not to freeze it if we have to. The only reason we freeze a lot of the meats that we do today is because of some of the regulations that came out a few years ago. We had to freeze, I almost had my little string here, I guess. I gotta cut this a little tighter. So we freeze it the same day to ensure you get fresh. But they try to make the market responsible. Even if you took and you left your piece of meat in the car all day long and you left it there all day, and then we're somehow still responsible. So we figure, well, by the time one of our pieces thaws out, you'll hopefully be okay. Ooh, my string, I just ran out of string a little smidge. I shouldn't have been so generous on a couple of those. Throw it over here. What we're going to do is we're going to turn our little pan on. I guess I should have probably turned it on before. And we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Let that heat up for a second. Okay. Put this over here so it doesn't complain. And then I'm going to take a little tongue. And we're going to let that heat up. Now we're going to put our little Bracciolinis in there and we're going to let them brown. Now the Braccioli is big. And actually, how many Sicilians? We had at least one, I know, a Sicilian over here. Now when you make Braccioli, they put the eggs in there?
No.
No? Now Rosalita was telling me they used to put the eggs in, and the grandkids don't like the look of the eggs, so they grate it up. So they still put it in, but they don't show the kids what's in there. I said, that's the Sicilian mind, you know?